Hi everyone, how is everyone doing, huh? On this very quiet Sunday night, March, what is it, March 22nd, or is it March 23rd? Hold on a second, everyone, March 22nd. Okay, so how's everyone doing, huh? Um, so I'm doing my podcast on this Sunday, as we are dealing with what? Jesus. As we are dealing with the stupid corona virus, aka COVID 19. How worse does it have to get, really? You guys tell me, how worse does it really have to get until the planet turns into a dystopian place for nobody to be able to live? Um, how worse does it have to get? That's my question. Well, sir, we don't know. We don't know. It's actually spreading faster here in U.S. Italy has a lot of fucking cases and deaths, and I was actually having dinner yesterday with my family friends out in Long Island, and they were telling me that basically Italians are just throwing away bodies, that because they have like fucking over 700 like fucking like deaths within 24 hours. Jesus fucking Christ, what the fuck is going on? Um, so I once again, I don't want to turn my podcast into a coronavirus rant podcast, but I guess because we all have been affected, are being affected, not have been. We all are being affected. Um, the stocks are tanked, right? Worse since, I don't know, the beginning of fucking time, I guess. Um, and people are scrambling. The hospitals um, scrambling for masks. Here in New York, New York has like the largest cases of fucking coronavirus, and so it has crippled basically life on this fucking planet. It's one fucking virus out of that fucking Wuhan province in fucking China, right? Jesus Christ. Um, I presume you all are safe out there. Um, without giving you all any misinformation, um, if you are healthy and if you're not that old and you don't have pre-existing conditions, even if you get the coronavirus, so the good thing is that if you quarantine yourself for 14 days, it's just like a fucking flu virus, I think. For 14 days, then you're fine. You're fine. You're gonna get some fever. You're gonna get some, like cough and all that. Um, but if your immune system is compromised, then you gotta basically go to the fucking hospital, right? Um, but in any case, so are we all going to get that fucking virus? How about in New Jersey, sir? New Jersey, how many fucking cases in New Jersey? Let me see. What I'm gonna do is, um, Corona. Jesus Christ. Coronavirus cases state by state. State by state, right? I mean, charity first starts at home, right? So, a state-by-state breakdown of U.S. 3 hours ago, CNN.com. Okay, so let's go in here, everyone. State by state. Okay, here we go. Okay, here we go. Hold on a second. Oh my fucking god. Okay, so the biggest cases are California. California only has 1468 cases. Is that it? 1468. California has fucking 40 million people there. Well, I guess because they're spread out. Is that what it is? Well, how about in San Francisco? San Francisco and LA has the biggest population of fucking homeless people, right? I guess the homeless don't care because they're already like at the verge of like dying anyways, right? Okay, so Florida has 1,001, right? Illinois has 1,049. Indiana, 201. Oh my fucking god. So let's go back to northeast of our own states here. New Jersey has 1914 cases. 1,914 cases, including 20 deaths. Jesus fucking Christ. New York, okay, so here we go. New York has 15,168 cases, including 114 deaths. What the fuck, dude? What the fuck? Jesus fucking Christ. So total in the United States are how many? 32,502. In all, so basically that's all 50 states have cases, right? And over 400 people have died. 114 in New York, I told you guys, unfortunate. And the bad thing is that it's actually growing. So hopefully, United States, including New York and New Jersey, don't become like the fucking new epicenter of this fucking coronavirus, and then we will be crippled. We'll be fucking crippled because right now the epicenter is Italy, still is Italy. So I'm not an expert on this. I don't know what the fuck is going to happen, but it is affecting all of us, including our businesses. I actually yesterday I went to drop off office computer that my office manager was using to drop it off to her, and leftovers from yesterday's dinner. They gave me some food to go. And so I dropped it off, and yesterday, before I drove to Long Island, I'm like, you know what? Let me go to my office downtown, on Broadway, and find out if there are any checks that have come in, no checks. I went down there, and no fucking checks, not even fucking just like one fucking junk mail. So my sister actually sent me a link where actually I think in New York City, if you have a small business in New York City, I think the city's what is that agency of the city? Small Business Services, right? So Small Business Services actually providing grants to companies that are small businesses that have less than 5 employees, right? 1 to 4, which would be my company, for losing business because of coronavirus. So what that means is that what they're asking is, I don't want to fucking go into too much details, but if you are a business owner, small business owner, including restaurants and all that, right? I think cafes, whatever, and professional services just like mine. You can go to SBS and look for, SBS special grants to businesses impacted by coronavirus. So my sister sent me a link, which I forwarded to my office manager. And so what they are saying is that what SBS is asking is that we can give you a grant if you can prove to us, that in the 2 months of this year, which is 2020, right, which would be January and February, show us your income, total income, right, gross income for your company, and then show us what you made gross income in 2019. And if there is money lost in 2020, January and February, obviously you have to prove that via via the bank statements, and there are a bunch of documents they're asking for, because they're not gonna give you fucking money just like based on your word of mouth, So through bank statements, you have to prove to the city that, first of all, you have to have an office in one of the 5 boroughs of New York City, and you have to have less than 5 employees, and blah blah blah, all these other requirements. And then you have to just show them, listen, this is the money that came in January and February of this year, and that is the money that came in January and February of last year. So here's the difference, sir. Here's the difference. So are you going to give me that money because I lost it because of fucking coronavirus, right? So city is actually giving grants, and I think the federal government is going to give some money to the city to assist. And it's just a fucking disaster, man. It's just a fucking disaster. This coronavirus has just fucking created a disaster for these human beings who have never been fucking prepared for something like this. How can you be prepared? I don't know, sir. I don't know, man. And every other gender associates, I have no fucking idea. I'm not an expert on this. You have to talk to CDC and doctors and hospitals, and I don't know. I guess personally, you can just stay at home, get your booze and get your food stored, whatever you're drinking or whatever you're smoking, whatever the hell it is, right? And stay at home and work from home, because you can remotely work from home, which I did today. Yesterday I was running around, and then I went to Long Island for the dinner, and then I had a great time there, and then I came back around what time I came back? Around 11. I got back around 11, and then I just took it easy, And then a friend of mine from Mountain, he called me really late, because I was up late, and I was talking to him. So in any case, so here we are with this fucking coronavirus. Here we are. So, everything is crippled. Cities are locked down. Businesses are closed. Not closed, but most of the employees are working from home. I can still go to my Jersey City office and work from there, because, it's like 3 blocks from here. And it's not like the building is locked down, but just that the building is like a ghost town. Like last week, nobody was there. Nobody, except for the cleaning lady was there. I was working there. Oh, by the way, so I was having some fucking issues with my health, by the way. So I had to call fucking 911 3 times. Not 3 times in a day, but 3 times in a week. In 2 weeks actually. I was having these my heart started racing, and this is not I was drinking or anything like that, This is at work. My heart started racing, and then my hands started shaking, and then I knew this happened once when I was living in fucking Brooklyn, right? And I came home from work. This is around 7:30, and I hadn't even had my food. Forget the drink. Forget drinking or any of that bullshit, right? And then that happened. I had to call 911, and then they took me to NYU Langone, and they didn't give me any medication or anything like that. But But this time, so I had to go to the fucking Jersey City Medical Center, and then took the, what do you call it? They took my blood and everything, and then they told me to see a cardiologist. And I saw a cardiologist. He told me I have SVT, which is the supraventricular tachycardia, whatever the hell it is, right? I don't want to give too much like my personal like health information, and so I was kind of worried. So Friday, I just took an Uber and went back to the hospital, and I said, because I was having like, my heart was kind of like, this is during daytime. My heart was kind of like, my heart rate was kind of high. And then I went there and they checked everything. They said that everything was fine. I might have like a withdrawal syndrome. So I don't know. I mean, we are human beings, and our bodies, they're just like fatigue and etc. etc. My girlfriend then came over on Friday night actually, and then the my building has basically closed down all the lobbies, including where they have the pool table. So it sucks, we can't play pool. Because she loves to play pool with me, and so do I. And I would go there like once or twice at least, like with her or even without her, to play pool, because there's just a good distraction from like stress and all that, right? I think I had a lot of work stress. So I think I told you guys, I think I mentioned this last time, work stress, anxiety, and then this fucking coronavirus happens, right? And then it just quadruples, everything, So you have to take it easy and just like deep breaths. That's what I've learned actually. These paramedics actually, when they came last time, they told me to do this breathing practice where you breathe in, right? So you have to hold it. If your heart started racing, you have to hold it as much as you can, and do that like many times, and then it brings your like heart rate down. And that's what I've been using. That's what I have been doing. So that has helped. And so everything checks out for me. And because when I went to the hospital myself, I took an Uber voluntarily. I went there, and they said everything was fine. And liver, as you all know, I had issue with liver, and I openly told the doctor. He said, yeah, we saw that in the blood results. And I said, listen, because sometimes I drink a little bit of like white wine with orange juice, and I told him, listen, I just want to get rid of that like fucking drinking altogether. And then he called in somebody who actually works at the New Jersey Medical Center Prevention Center, right? But the other fucking problem is that my insurance company apparently, AmeriHealth, they canceled my insurance because of one non-payment. And when I called them, listen, did you guys have the courtesy to at least like give me a call instead of like just canceling it? Because I could have given you guys another fucking form of payment, right? And they were like, oh no, we don't call, we send a letter in the mail and blah, blah, blah. What if, they sent that letter to my old address? Or maybe I didn't get it. I mean, this is the healthcare system in this country is so fucked up. You won't believe it. It's so fucked up. So fucked up. I've been there, so I know that for sure, right? So this is the fucking problem we have to deal with. So I told my office manager today, and I told her, listen, we have to get a health insurance. Doesn't matter whichever, we just have to sign up, because she doesn't have health insurance either. So she's going to look up tomorrow, because she printed like a couple of weeks ago, Oscar, and then AmeriHealth, they also do like plans for like, more than one employee. If you are looking for like business health insurance for your business employees, so even if I have to pay like, I don't know, like $1,500 a month, whatever the hell it is, right, or whatever it is, I'll do that because if your health is not good, then everything else is fucking secondary, right? Everything else is fucking secondary. So that's obvious, right? That's obvious, sir. So I think I'm gonna go through some sort of program where even like drinking like white wine, because the problem is that if you drink white wine with food, which is good, but if you keep drinking, then that's not good. That's not fucking good because it affects your fucking body, right? So in any case, not that I'm a real alcoholic or anything like that, but I just I just feel it that it's not worth it. It's not fucking worth it. So just like get into a fucking program. I'm not talking about going to AA or going to fucking like rehab or anything like that, but there are treatments through clinics where they work with you and then therapies. So that's it. And so that's on my health side. Again, you as you grow old, and it just like things just fall apart. And also for us men, I'm not sure about ladies. For us, like the age of 46, 47 is like the fucking a hole. It's called the hole of the middle age, right? Is that what it is, or is it made up? It's like the abyss. So you have to be careful, with all these fucking things. And so I had to be careful, right? So stress, anxiety, and panic attacks and all that, because there's work stress. You have to get this done, you have to get these drawings out, you have to do this, blah blah blah. And so it's not easy, and people are not paying you. That's the biggest fucking problem in New York. You deliver them what the fuck they needed, drawings, forms, inspections. I went to the site. Now where is my fucking money? I mean, we sent you the invoice. We haven't paid us in like fucking 3 months. Sometimes you have to use the upper stick. You have to say, listen, I'm not going to give you a fucking sign off. I'm not going to do this inspection unless you pay us for this invoice. You have to say that, and that's what I do. But it's just a fucking hassle. It's a fucking hassle. I'm sorry, I think I mentioned that in my almost every fucking podcast that I do. Do I, sir? But yeah, that also stresses me out, because I have to pay like 2 offices and then my apartment rent, and then I have to, pay myself, my salary, my office manager's salary, so, and then all the other expenses, health insurance now, we have to get the health insurance, and then we have other insurance, general liability with umbrella, fucking, because I'm a professional engineer, so I have to carry that fucking insurance as well, professional liability insurance, and then the workers' comp. So I pay a lot of money, every month. I mean, not every month, sir, every year. So it's not easy to actually run a business, but at the same time, I can't work for other people. No. Because I have a constant flow of clients' work, except for this fucking coronavirus bullshit. So hopefully, although I don't want to be too optimistic because I'm kind of like a skeptical person. Although looking at what happened in China has virtually no cases, except for the people who are returning to China, because China is now the safest place to live on fucking earth with the communist regime. Is that true, sir? And so China obviously was the epicenter. Then they managed to basically, they managed to contain the virus, I guess, is that the word you use, or control it, control the spread. Then became Iran, then became fucking Italy and the Europe. Now, is it going to be America? Probably, most likely, because that's how this whole fucking thing started. Because even though we may have hospitals, we may have money and all that, the virus is still going to spread. The virus is still going to fucking spread to a point where hopefully not to the level of Italy or fucking China, because Italy is a very small country in terms of like land. I think that's the other problem. So people live very like close to each other, even though they may be living or quarantining in their own homes. And I think they're kind of sloppy. Their government is kind of fucking sloppy in imposing these fucking rules. Although if you listen to like somebody like Tim Dillon, I was listening to him today because I was just lying down in bed and like I was just like fucking, I was drinking a lot of water and everybody's like fucking trying to find out what the fuck's going on, and I was just listening to him, and I was listening to NPR and all that, right? Hopefully not. Hopefully we don't get to that point where, this just fucking like becomes a real disaster, Because at least right now, as per Governor Murphy of New Jersey, except for essential businesses, all businesses should be closed and people have to remain at home. Essential businesses mean like laundromats, and they actually also shut down the barbershops, barbershops and nail salons and all that, right? Except for like grocery stores, I think. Gas stations are open, grocery stores are open, and pharmacies are open too, I think, like CVS and all that, right? And what else is open? I mean, you can still go out and you can get your essentials, food and all that, right? Are we really fucking running out of fucking toilet paper? Because people are fucking panicking, and this is the fucking problem with Americans, right? Especially Americans. They panic, and then they just start fucking hoarding like food and toilet paper and everything, and that's why fucking everything is like in shortage. In New York and hopefully not in New Jersey, especially in the waterfront, because we have a lot of like markets and all that. But people are afraid. I understand they have a right to be afraid, but over panicking is just a fucking disaster for everyone. Like hoarding like boxes and boxes of fucking toilet paper. Even when you are just one person. I didn't do that. I'll probably go tomorrow and go to my Jersey City office, and then I'll probably like maybe buy like I don't know. I mean, I have enough fucking toilet paper and all that, but I do need like fucking some food items, and I need the paper towels for the kitchen and all that, right? And so this disaster hopefully is contained soon, although people are predicting it can go as long as like 18 months from now, which would be a fucking disaster if we have to be home 18 months. If businesses do not open for 18 months, stocks are going to go to zero. And then guess what? This is going to be the fucking biggest disaster in the history of human beings. Or maybe, contemporary history of fucking human beings, right? On this floating rock, this rock floats around another fucking like hot rock, and that's our world. It's called the solar system, right? And are we fucking alone? I mean, are aliens fucking watching us at least to see how we are coping with all this? If there are any fucking aliens out there, right? There are gazillion stars and star systems, and I don't fucking believe that we are fucking alone, right? If anything, they're just watching us because they have much more advanced technologies, whatever you call it, right? In any case, I don't want to rant about fucking aliens and all that, right? Our immediate need is this fucking coronavirus bullshit we have to deal with. So in any case, it's already half an hour, and it's 10:39 on a Saturday night. I'm sorry, Sunday night, sir. So yeah, I've been watching. I've been watching a lot of shows and movies and all that. Obviously, everybody is, because everybody's home now. Everybody's fucking home. Although I was running around yesterday, I mean, I don't give a shit, to be honest with you, because the cities and towns are ghost towns now. Building offices are ghost towns. Nobody's there. So it's easier to not, contract the virus. There are no people out there, So it's actually, kind of like, for me, it's kind of like, fun to just walk around, and in these like empty spaces, and then also if I go into grocery stores and then make fun of fucking people who are hoarding all these goods, as if they're gonna be like fucking home locked down for like, I don't know, like 6 years. Are they gonna be like home jailed for like 6 years until the corona is gone? But corona would be gone. I think corona would be gone. Let's wait for the fucking warm weather. Let's wait for the fucking warm weather. Although Australia had fucking warm weather, right? But Tom Hanks got it, so I had no fucking idea how this fucking coronavirus operates. But it's one of those. COVID-19 is a virus in the genre of coronaviruses because it looks like a fucking corona. Corona means a crown in Latin. And so I have no fucking idea, but it has flu-like symptoms. So it's similar to flu, right? But am I going to fucking talk about coronavirus this whole fucking time? Which I already did, I think 80% of the time, right? But in any case, so I still have some topics I do want to discuss in my cheat sheet, everyone. So we will, when we get to our cheat sheet, right? What else is going on? Well, weather has been cold. I guess that doesn't help for this fucking coronavirus, right? Like if the weather remains cold, it's coronavirus is probably like fucking celebrating, celebrating that these fucking human beings, they are still the coronavirus's target. Or coronavirus is target because the weather is still like, cold and the temperatures are low. So we can survive, That's what the fucking coronavirus is probably saying to itself if it has the capability to say anything, which I don't believe so. It's just a fucking virus, So, what the fuck I was talking? Oh yeah, so the weather has been a little chilly, but hopefully when the weather breaks out, that would and should help. Although I don't know, I'm not an expert. I got a lot of work to do. I got deadlines. Clients and architects are looking for, drawings, forms. The other thing is that the three agencies that my company works with closely, the expediters, the architects, Department of Buildings, I think, Well, I get the service notices from Department of Buildings because I'm on their mailing list, obviously, because I'm a professional engineer registered with them. That so because of this coronavirus spread, I think everybody's working remotely, so you have to drop off forms. You can they have set up the drop off boxes, and that's what I was telling one of my expediters for a job in Brooklyn. So in any case, I don't want to turn this podcast into my work podcast either, everyone. But I guess then what else is there to talk about? Movies and just like getting stuck at home. Jesus Christ. Um, so yeah, I basically just like stayed home today. I didn't do anything. I had the leftovers, which I'm still having, that my family friends gave me, yesterday. And there was no fucking traffic. Even going, because I was downtown in my office, and then from there I drove into Long Island. No fucking traffic. 40 minutes I was there. And then from there to come here, less than an hour. No fucking traffic at all. No fucking traffic. Nobody's out there. Nobody wants to like fucking travel. And airlines obviously are the hardest hit, one of the hardest hit industries. Because I was reading an article on CNN. Not only did they have canceled their flights, for most part the international flights, and to an extent, the local flights, local here in the U.S. I was reading an article that the airlines now are scrambling because all their planes are grounded and they don't have any fucking space or storage to store them or keep them on the fucking ground, right? Why don't they send them to the fucking International Space Station? Then maybe they should have a fucking... No, sir, forget that. Don't even go there. So they are scrambling to find like space in their storage hangars. That's where they keep all the fucking planes, right? Because now there are no flights. So, and then I think the government is actually going to incentivize airline industry. I think the airline industry is asking for $50 billion, which is a lot of fucking money. And I don't know who was saying that these airline companies are like, they are fucking like, they are very like, what do you call it? The airline companies are very, what is that word? Snotty? Not snotty. They are very, what's that fucking word I want to use? Jesus fucking Christ. They are very arrogant. That's true. That's fucking true. All these airline companies, because they have a fucking monopoly, right? They have a fucking monopoly, and they'll charge you whatever the fuck they want, until a disaster like this happens and nobody wants to travel. And then they beg to the government, "Oh, give me $50 billion. No, we shouldn't be giving them $50 billion out of my fucking tax dollars, right? We should be giving them just like we should be giving them the money to any other businesses that have been affected by coronavirus. Not what they're fucking asking for, because I think they're asking for a big fucking money out of their fucking arrogance. Right? Out of their fucking arrogance. You know how all these airline companies are so fucking arrogant, during normal times, right? On this fucking planet. So, there you go. That was my rant on the fucking... Did I actually repeat myself on this one? From my last podcast? Maybe I did. I'm sorry, I apologize, everyone. But this is what everybody's fucking talking about. So, because people are trying to see if this fucking coronavirus goes away, so they can, they can actually get back to normal lives, just like everybody else, just like me, just like you, everybody else around the fucking globe, across the fucking globe, dude, across the fucking globe. So this should actually teach the human beings how to be prepared. How to be prepared. Prepare. How to be prepared. Do I think that they would be prepared? I'm with Tim Dillon and all these other guys. Joe Rogan was talking about yesterday with what's his name, the guy Andy Snuff. He's a retired Navy SEAL, whatever. And so they were talking about, whether this is just like a fucking, like a tip of an iceberg that's to come in future or near future. If something like this happens again, are we going to be prepared? I don't think so. I don't think so because now when this is gone, we'll be going back to normal. Okay, so I guess I can compare one thing when it comes to saying that are we prepared? So let's get back to 2012, right? Okay, so sorry, I did just a breathing exercise. Let's get back to 2012. So what happened in 2012, sir? Sandy happened. Remember Northeast? What a fucking disaster. It wiped out like coastal like towns. The whole downtown Manhattan, East Village was fucking flooded. People were on the boats, and I was living in Brooklyn at that time. Nothing happened. We didn't have any like electricity shutdowns. Manhattan had like 10-day electricity shutdown. I remember my sister was living there, in Midtown East. But the point I'm trying to make is that, let's say that, are we prepared? Let's say if another fucking Sandy hurricane happens. Did we prepare? I don't think so. Do we have the levees to protect the downtown Manhattan from like, if the waves in the fucking East Village and what is that south, whatever the fucking that sea is, right? Atlantic Sea. If they go up to like 40 feet high, fucking waves, are we ready for that? I don't think so. So this is going to be the same. Although this is a little different than Sandy because Sandy was a fucking natural disaster. Well, sir, but this is also a natural disaster. Well, it's a different natural disaster. That's what I'm saying. But regardless, I don't think that we will be prepared if something like this happens again. So there you go. So that's my answer, and it's already 42 minutes, everyone. So I want to keep my podcast under 1 hour. So let's just get into our cheat sheet because I have some great topics. And let's just distract ourselves from this fucking COVID-19 bullshit we have to deal with, right? All right, so my first topic, I presume you all are safe out there. And my first topic is my birthday and St. Patty's. So my birthday was 17th, right? So 17th, I was having that issue with my health and all that, right? And obviously, my birthday is March 17th, and my cousins and my family and everybody, they were wishing me a happy birthday, and I really thank for them. We all have to be like in constant contact in these like disastrous times, right? And then St. Patrick's Day obviously falls on March 17th, so obviously that was cancelled. The St. Patrick's Parade was cancelled in New York City. And my real birthday, by the way. So, but I heard that they actually had the managers actually did a parade. They walked down Fifth Avenue, regardless. But there were no crowds, no Irish brawls, because obviously they have not shut down the bars and restaurants, but bars and restaurants, I believe, are takeout only. How can you be a bar and takeout only? So you walk into a fucking bar and say, Can I have a whiskey sour to go, sir? And do you have to have now these cups to go? What kind of cups? Like coffee cups? This is a fucking disaster. This is a fucking disaster. I mean, restaurants can still survive, but bars, I don't think so, because bars are not supposed to have any patrons in there. Is that the 50% still? Does that still apply? But in any case, so all the fucking businesses are impacted negatively by this fucking virus. So maybe if we had some sort of an alien technology or an advanced technology which could basically just like fight this fucking virus, I have no fucking idea. We don't even have a fucking what do you call it? Vaccine for this, because this happened so like quickly. But in any case, even if you have a vaccine, let's say in the next couple of years, what if there's another fucking virus, right? So this is going to go on. Hopefully not. Hopefully not. So let's just get into our second topic. SVT. I told you guys about SVT. My cardiologist told me SVT, but I don't think I have SVT. But in any case, my ex-colleagues, they were joking with me when I told them that, I've been dating all these like young ladies, in the past 5 years, and I was sending them pictures of a couple of them. And one of my ex-colleagues, he was like, "Oh, now I know why you have heart issues," He looks at them because, I mean, I've dated like such beautiful women in the past 5 years. But in any case, steady dates, steady. In any case, so 46 minutes, everyone. My next topic: empty stadium games. Empty stadium games. Okay, so this is like, I was like fucking laughing, So first of all, stadiums are obviously empty. So why are they still having a fucking soccer game? I was fucking laughing when they're, on CNN, one of those, right? So they were showing that there is this game going on, but no fucking audience in the whole fucking stadium, right? Not audience, I'm sorry. What do you call no spectators. No fucking spectators in the whole fucking stadium. And guess what? Pope, the Catholic Christian Pope, and he's making a sermon to empty chairs from above his fucking window or whatever the hell it is called, right? And I'm laughing. I'm like laughing at this. Why is he basically talking to himself? Why is he fucking talking to these fucking chairs? Jesus fucking Christ! Everything is closed down, everyone. So all these like places, anything from like fucking stadiums to like cinema halls to like fucking, religious places, the Saudi Arabia where the Muslims do the Hajj, that place is empty. Everything is basically just like empty, and it looks like a fucking ghost town. This whole fucking planet looks like a ghost town, thanks to coronavirus. But in any case, so that was my take on that. My fourth topic, I'm sorry, everyone. ICON old SUVs. Okay, so this guy, Jonathan Ward, great guy. He was on Joe Rogan's podcast. And so he basically rebuilds these like old SUVs. Remember the Toyota FJ40 Land Cruiser? I remember that because I grew up with that. My dad's company, nonprofit, who was funded by I think some of the Europeans in the mountains, because the only car or SUV would work is something like FJ40, Toyota Land Cruiser FJ40, right? FJ40, and here in America, Bronco, Ford Bronco, remember that? So basically, so this guy, he has this company called ICON, and he basically rebuilds these fucking SUVs. I was looking at the pictures and fucking amazing. Like, if I were to like live in like fucking, some mountain town in Colorado, I would fucking buy one of those. Fucking amazing. And then everything is like done like in such details. And apparently Joe Rogan visited his plant or where he was making these, and fucking amazing because I love those fucking cars. But where I live here in Jersey City, and where I commute to sometimes when I drive into the city, those cars are not Armand cars. No, I mean those SUVs. But they made them like hand. It's like a handmade. Amazing fucking details, amazing fucking like controls, and then the radios, and then the dashboard items. Fucking amazing. But the look and everything, the old way from the 1960s. Remember those? I remember that. The first one I think came out that in US was in 1963 when Toyota actually started making these here, FJ40 Land Cruisers. So that was a fucking amazing. But those are expensive for a reason where he's selling these. But they're custom made. So if you are rich and if you have money, if you want to, like if you are a collector of cars, and I would, if you are into those like old SUVs, such as Land Cruiser, Bronco, then that's the way to go. And my next topic is work from home shelter. Okay, so I think I beat this topic to death. Everybody is work from home shelter. So people were asking about when San Francisco mayor said, or was that the fucking Governor Newsom, that San Francisco, 8 million people in San Francisco should be home shelter. What does that even fucking mean, home shelter? Home shelter means that you should just stay at home except for when you have to go out for some essential needs, So why do they have to use the home fucking shelter? It's not like home. It's not like a shelter. Okay? Why don't you just say, hey everyone, so we have an issue with this fucking coronavirus that is spreading so fast. So to control that and to contain that, we are requesting you to stay at home. Just stay at home. Stay at home. Home shelter. It's not like my home is a shelter. Well, I guess I got a little more technical on that one over there. My next topic, everyone, is the 100. The 100. Okay, so what is the 100, sir? So the 100 is an amazing sci-fi TV show which first aired in 2014. Although it's more like these teenagers in their late teens, and I kind of don't like the show's premise, but it's in a dystopian Earth setup. No spoiler alerts, but the hundreds, and I kind of like the story, but I don't at the same time, because it's kind of like I don't know. It's kind of like I don't know what's that term I want to use. It's kind of oriented towards like young people, and so it's kind of like right. So I guess the point I'm trying to make is that it's kind of like fucking. It's kind of like not that mature, The storyline is not that mature. That's what I mean. I'm not saying that it should be something like fucking Picard, where Picard is like fucking in his like 70s and still the captain of the fucking ship, right? I guess because I'm in between. So I mean, I like the sci-fi show Expense much better than that show. But I still watched it, and I haven't watched actually fucking Parks and Rec in like weeks. So maybe I should watch Parks and Rec. Parks and Rec is also the same. You know, it's just the same fucking thing. Even every fucking season, it's the same fucking story of Pawnee, Indiana. Jesus. All right, so the 100. So check it out. The 100. I think it has four seasons. Oh, by the way, tonight was supposed to be the second episode of Westworld. So I gotta watch that one. Westworld, everyone. West fucking world. And then I was listening to. Okay. My last topic, everyone, because it's already almost 56 minutes. TYT. What the hell's TYT, sir? TYT is called the Young Turks. So Young Turks is this like political like channel on YouTube, right? It's not only Young Turks or people from Turkey or Turkish Americans, but it's like one of those like it's okay. Let's just say it's like a smaller version of CNN or Fox, but it's kind of political left leaning, you know, politically left leaning, like a platform where they don't talk about news, but they discuss politics. That's what they do. I was listening to them on YouTube YouTube TV, by the way. So, by the way, speaking of YouTube TV, you know, I get onto YouTube TV sometimes, and then I watch, European soccer, or even like the old MLB, Major League Baseball, but nothing is there now. No fucking games anymore because of this fucking coronavirus. So, but in any case, without digressing, so Young Turks, I was listening to them. They were talking about fucking Biden and Sanders and what the hell's going on with these fucking Democrats. I think Biden is going to be the contester with fucking Trump in the general elections in November of this year. Sanders is still not giving up because Sanders is not going to win. He was not going to win in any case because he's too left-leaning. Am I fucking talking about politics here? Forget that. I'm sorry. Forget that. Forget that. I know Trump is going to win. That's my feeling. And with that said, I hope you all are, I can't say you all are having a great time while this fucking coronavirus thing is happening, right? But I presume you all are at least having some time home by yourself, locked down in the basement. That's not what I wanted to say, sorry. I hope you all are safe and I guess I will see you all next Saturday or Sunday, depending on what the fuck happens with fucking corona, right? Now, I mean, I'll still be home. If anything happens that bad, is like going to be more cases, and then I'll just do another podcast from home, right? All right, everyone. I will see you all next weekend.